The NBA star Brittney Griner now faces up to 10 years in prison after pleading guilty to drug-related charges in a Moscow court. Griner was arrested in February after authorities found vape canisters with cannabis oil in her luggage. Now pressure is growing for the Biden administration to do more to secure her release and bring her home. Let's bring in NBC News reporter Matt Bodner, who's been tracking this case from London. Matt, good morning to you. So walk us through exactly what happened yesterday. What are Griner and what are her attorneys saying?
Joe, good morning. Well, yesterday we weren't really sure what to expect from the hearing, and I have to say it was, by Russian court standards, very short, about 2 hours. And we saw U.S. Embassy personnel enter the courtroom. That was different from her first hearing, so there was definitely more activity. And by the time she came out, we learned that she had admitted to guilt, that she was guilty on all charges, and her lawyers kind of clarified the situation later, saying that they were now counting on leniency from the Russian court. She, when she was admitting that she was guilty, she was insisting that she had no intent to commit a crime. So they're hoping, again, on leniency, recognition of her of the work she's done in Russia, kind of her goodwill efforts and such. So that's what they're banking on, at least officially right now. Of course, there appears to be a little bit of a political game going on behind the scenes as well.
I mean, Matt, this all comes just days after Griner wrote a letter to President Biden asking for help. Then on Wednesday, the president reassured Griner's wife that he was working to secure her release. What more do we know about those efforts?
So there's not too much to say about these efforts right now. Suffice it to say that the U.S. government does appear to be coming around to the idea of an exchange. We saw an exchange happen earlier this year with Trevor Reed. He was one of the other notable Americans. And that was interesting because throughout these cases, remember Paul Whelan, the first detainee, that happened in 2017. So everyone has known for a while kind of what's going on here. But the U.S. has only recently seemed to kind of come around to the idea that there might need to be trades to get these people out. So whatever is being said in these letters, we don't specifically know. Of course, there was Secretary of State Tony Blinken with a statement reassuring Griner and her family, as well as Whelan's family, that they're doing everything they can to get them out. But at the end of the day, the Russian government has to want to trade with the United States. So they have to, if this is going to happen, they have to offer somebody up that the Russians really want. We, of course, hear all kinds of names all the time. But it really comes down to a political will on both sides.
So, Matt, what are you keeping an eye on for what happens next, and what could this guilty plea mean for Brittney?
Sure. So I think the important thing to always keep in mind with the Russian court process is it can be extremely lengthy, really tedious in the end, and also you have a very low chance of ever beating any charge that is brought against you by the state. State almost always gets what it wants. So Griner, by stepping up in this hearing and admitting guilt, I think is hoping to speed up this process to get to the point where the Russians will start talking about trades, because they have been very straightforward on that regard, saying that they're not going to talk about anything until the court has reached a verdict. And if you fight these kinds of charges, you're just going to delay it. I've seen these cases go on for months with opposition figures, for example. So that seems to be what Griner's legal team has decided to do here.
Matt Bodner knows this system well. Matt, thanks so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.